Hi, welcome to the lecture series on analog electronics. This lecture series is a part of Let's Crack the Gate initiative by TechU faculties. Today, we are going to discuss a topic called FET biasing, that is the DC biasing of field effect transistors. Okay, so the things I am going to say in this lecture are applicable to MOSFET DC biasing also. So, we won't be discussing the DC biasing of MOSFET. We will only be discussing the construction as well as the characteristics and operation. That's it. Okay. So, when we look at biasing, we already know what biasing is, why we need biasing, right? So, the same concept apply here. The difference between BJT biasing and FET biasing is that in BJT biasing, the input and output relation was linear. That is, we know that our VB is going to be 0.7, our IB, we can find out IB if we know VB. So, we got our input quantity which is IB. And we know that IC is equal to beta times IB. So, we know our input and output are in a linear relationship, right? But in case of FET, this relationship is not linear. What is the input quantity here? It is VGS, right? So, VGS and the output quantity, which is a current, the relation between these two is a non-linear relationship. That is, we have seen the equation ID equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP whole square. So, this is the relation between input and output. So, when we do the DC analysis of FET circuits, the solutions, that is the process of solving these problems, become slightly complicated than BJTs. But anyway, we have to do this. Normally, those people who make questions for gate also know this complication. So, questions regarding FET biasing is very rare in gate. Anyway, for our understanding, we are going to go through this. So, there are a few things you need to remember before going into this biasing of FETs. First thing is Ij is, that is the gate current is approximately equal to 0. This is the first thing. Okay. So, if Ig is equal to 0, we know that Id is equal to Is, that is drain current and source current are the same. This is the second relationship. Now, the third relationship we have already seen. This is also called Shockley's equation, that is Id is equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP the whole square. Now, this is the equation that shows the relationship between input and output quantities. Okay. With this, we can go into the DC analysis of different biasing circuits of FETs. So, the first configuration is called fixed bias circuit. I'll draw the fixed bias circuit now, and it looks like this. There is our JFET. This is the drain, source, and gate. Now, gate is connected to a DC supply through a resistor. Here is a DC supply, and at drain there is a resistance and another DC supply. Now, we know that this is called VDD, this is RD, this is, let's say, this is RG, and this is VGG, because we know that gate source circuit must be reverse biased. So, the circuit will look like this. Here we will give our input signal through a capacitor. Here we have our V in, and at the drain we have the output. This is V out. So, let me redraw this. There is no need for VDD to be shown like this. So, VDD can be shown like this. So, you get how VDD looks like. This is the circuit. We know that for DC analysis, capacitors will act as open circuits. So, we can remove them and draw the DC equivalent circuit of this. So, this will look like this. one more thing, that is this is an N channel FET. So we have our FET here. Now there is RD here, VDD here, and now source is directly connected to ground. We have the ground potential here, reference potential. Now we know that there is no current here, right? Ig is equal to 0. This is already gone because the capacitor is open circuited. So the current flowing through Rg is 0. So the drop in Rg is now 0 because the current is 0. So we can assume that it is acting as a short circuit. So Rg is removed, it is replaced by a short circuit, and here we have our VGG. Across this we have VGS, and across this we have VDS. This is RD, the current is flowing here, which is ID. Now this is the fixed bias circuit. Now we can analyze this. So what will be the value of VGS here? You can apply KVL in this loop, and you can see that, sorry, this is VGG, and you can see that VGS is equal to minus VGG, right? That's our equation 1. Now we can find out the value of ID. ID is given by IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP the whole square. VGS is now minus VGG, so this becomes IDSS into 1 minus VGG becomes 1 plus VGG divided by VP the whole square. Now we can look at the second loop, that is this loop, the output loop. So in the second loop we can see that source is now directly connected to the ground. So source potential is 0, and we can find VDS by applying KVL here. So if you apply KVL, you will get VDS equal to VDD minus the drop in this resistance, which is IDRD. We have already found ID here, substitute that here, you will get the value of VDS. This is our second equation. Now we know that this source is connected to ground, so Vs is equal to 0. If Vs is equal to 0, we know that VDS equal to VD minus Vs, so VDS will be equal to VD. So now we can find out the value of VD. VD will be given by VDD minus IDRD. In the same way, we know that VGS is equal to VG minus Vs. That means since Vs is equal to 0, VGS is equal to VG. Now we know that VG is equal to minus VGG. So these are the different voltages, different potentials in different points of the circuit. Okay, so we have found out all the things we need to find out. So this is fixed bias circuit because we know that if we draw the characteristics of this circuit, this is ID, this is the transfer characteristics, so this is VGS, and the characteristics will look like this. This is IDSS and this is VP. So in this characteristics, VGG means, let's say this is VGG. If the value of VGS is equal to VGG, we will get a fixed current for ID. That is why this is called fixed bias circuit. Now ID is fixed at this point. Okay. In this biasing, finding out the solution for this, that is finding out ID, finding out VDS, VD, VG, VGS, everything is easy because VGS is simply equal to VGG minus VGG. Okay. But our next circuit is called a self-bias circuit. In this circuit, it becomes complicated. You'll see why. And most of the time, the best way to solve this circuit is by the graphical methods. But it is not possible in gate, so we don't have to go that way. Anyway, you'll see why it is complicated. Okay. So self-bias circuit looks like this. The difference between self-bias and fixed bias is that there will be a resistor here at the source, and there is no separate supply at the gate. Here we have RD and VDD. Now this is our gate, drain and source. Here we have the input with its capacitor, and here we have the output and its coupling capacitor. Now this resistance is called RG, this is RS, and this is RD. Now this is a self-bias circuit. Now we can draw the DC equivalent of this circuit, and it will look like this. There is our FET, RD here, VDD here, RS here, connected to the ground. The potential at this point between ground is Vd, and the potential at source between ground is Vs. Now we know that Ig is equal to 0. So the current flowing through this resistance is equal to 0 ampere. Again, Ig into Rg is 0. So there is no need for showing Rg in the equivalent circuit. So it looks like this. Okay. So Rg is replaced by a short circuit. Now between gate and source we have VGS. Between drain and source we have VDS. And ID flows here. We also know that ID and IS are the same. That means ID itself flows in RS. Now we can go for the analysis. So if you apply KVL in this loop, we can see that there is VGS and IDRS here. So VGS is equal to minus ID into RS. This is the value of VGS. So when you look at this, we can see that VGS is the input voltage and ID is the output current. So here input quantity depends upon the output quantity. Okay, so this is what introduces complications in this solution. Anyway, we have to solve this. So let's go. VGS equal to minus ID into RS. So our ID equation for ID becomes IDSS into 1 minus, now VGS is minus IDRS divided by VP the whole square. Now this minus and minus becomes plus. So ID equal to IDSS into 1 plus IDRS divided by VP whole square. So now if you want to find out ID, you need to solve this quadratic equation. Okay. When you solve this, you will get two answers. So which one will you choose? We know that the maximum value of ID is IDSS. So the value which is less than IDSS should be chosen as the value of ID. Now we got ID from this equation. After finding out ID, we can find out the value of VDS. So VDS will be given by VDD minus the drops. There are two drops here, one in RD and one in RS, but the currents in both these resistors are ID only. So VDS is equal to VDD minus ID into RD plus RS. So this is the equation for VDS. Now this is self-bias circuit. This is how we solve for self-bias circuit. Now from the previous case we have seen how to find VD and VG. To find VD, first find VS. VS is equal to, VS is the voltage between this point and ground, and it is same as ID into RS. So VS is given by ID into RS. We know that VDS is equal to VD minus VS. We know what VS is. So VDS is given by VD minus IDRS. In other words, VD can be found out as VDS plus IDRS. ID and IS are the same. So this is the value of VD. Okay, so we got the value of VD, and that's it. This is all we need to find out from this circuit. This is the DC analysis of self-bias circuit. Now we have the third biasing circuit. It is called voltage divider bias. So this you are familiar with. Here we have our FET. There is our RD. There is our RS connected to the ground. RD, RS, source, drain and gate. Now there are two resistors here, R1 and R2 for the gate supply. Here we have our input, and here we have our output. This is R1, this is R2, and here we have VDD. So this is the voltage divider bias. Now we can draw the DC equivalent. Again we will be removing the capacitors, and the DC equivalent will look like this. Now we can draw the resistors like this. Here it has VDD because I just split this. So here it has VDD. This is R1. This is R2. So if I redraw this upper resistor, we can redraw it like this. Here it is VDD and this is R1. Now we can find out a Thevenin equivalent of this. We have already done this, that's why I am going on this figure itself. So we can find out a Thevenin equivalent of this voltage and resistors, and that Thevenin equivalent will look like this. Just removing this, replacing these two resistors and that DC supply by its Thevenin equivalent resistance. Now this is VTH and this is RG. Now VTH is equal to VDD into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and RG is equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, again there is no drop in RG, So we can replace RG by a short circuit. So our final circuit will look like this. Here we have VTH, which is VDD into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and across gate and source we have VGS, this is RS, this is RD, and between drain and source we have VDS. Now our circuit is ready for analysis. If we do the analysis, that is, if we apply KVL in this loop, we will get VGS is equal to VTH minus IDRS. Okay, apply KVL here, this is what we get. Okay, now this is VGS. What is ID? ID is given by IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP the whole square. Now substitute the value of VGS here and we can find out the value of ID, and ID should be less than IDSS. Now we can apply the equation for the output loop. From the KVL of the output loop, we will get VDS as VDD minus ID into RD plus RS, and the rest of the equations are same as self-bias circuit. Vs is ID into RS, VDS is equal to VD minus Vs, so VDS is equal to VD minus ID into RS, and VD is equal to VDS plus ID into RS. So these are all the biasing circuits for FET, that is the junction field effect transistor. Now these same biasing circuits can be applied for the next device we are going to discuss, that is the MOSFET. There are two different types of MOSFET, and for both of them we can apply this circuit. The only difference is here the relation between ID and VGS is given as ID equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP whole square, and in MOSFET the relation is different. Okay, so I won't be explaining these biasing circuits in MOSFET because all the equations and derivations are same. Okay, now we can do a few problems and wind up this session, that is biasing of FETs. Now the problem is, determine the following for the network of figure. First one, VGSQ. Here Q represents the quiescent point or the operating point. So whatever we are finding out here corresponds to the operating point. Second one is IDQ, third VDS, fourth VD, then VG, and then VS. Here DC voltage is given as 16 volt. There is RD equal to 2 kilo ohm, RG equal to 1 mega ohm, but it has no meaning. Then VGG is equal to 2 volt. IDSS is given, it is 10 milliampere. VP is equal to minus 8 volts. Okay, so our first target is VGSQ. So we know the value of VGSQ. This is fixed bias, so VGSQ equal to minus VGG, which is minus 2 volts. Now ID is given by, or IDQ, both are same, is given by IDSS into 1 minus VGS divided by VP the whole square, right? So IDSS is 10 milliampere, so this is 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 1 minus VGS is minus 2 volt, minus 2 divided by VP is minus 8 volt, so minus 8 the whole square. This minus and minus cancels, so this becomes 1 minus 2 by 8. 2 by 8 is 1 by 4, so this becomes 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 3 by 4. So IDQ is equal to 9 by 16 into 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. Now this will give us 5.625 milliampere. So this is the value of ID, and we can see that this ID is less than IDSS. That should be the case. Now we got ID. What will be VDS? VDS is equal to VDD minus IDRD. There is no resistance in the source to ground circuit. Here we have the ground. So VDS will be equal to 16 minus ID is 5.625 into 10 to the power minus 3 and RD is 2 into 10 to the power 3. Cancels. Now this will give us 4.75 volts. Now this is VDS. Now the next thing is VD. Before finding out VD, we can find out Vs, which is equal to 0 because Vs is directly connected to the ground. Then VD will be VDS plus Vs, and that will be same as VDS only. So this is 4.75 volt. Now the last thing is VG. VG is equal to VG minus Vs. Since Vs is 0, VG will be equal to minus 2 volts. So this is how we solve this problem. Now let's do the next problem. Here we have another circuit. This is a self-bias configuration. Here determine the following for the network of figure: VGSQ, IDQ, VDS, Vs, VG and VD, same as before. Okay. The only difference is this is a self-bias circuit, right? So we can write the equation for VGS. VGS is given by minus ID into RS. RS is 1 kilo ohm. Now we can write the equation for ID. ID is equal to this VGS and VGSQ are the same. ID and IDQ are the same. Now ID will be given by IDSS. Let's substitute the values. IDSS, which is 8 milliampere into 1 minus VGSS minus IDRS divided by VP is minus 6 volts to the whole square. Now IDQ will be equal to 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 1, this minus and this minus cancels. So 1 minus 2 into ID into RS is 1 kilo ohm, so 10 to the power 3 divided by 6, this is 6, plus ID square into 10 to the power 6 divided by 36, right? The terms in the square bracket is 1 minus IDRS by 6 whole square. Okay, that is 1 minus 2 into IDRS divided by VP plus ID square R square divided by VP square. Now this will give us 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 minus 2 into 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 6. So 10 to the power minus 3 and 10 to the power 3 cancels. 2 into 8 is 16. So 16 by 6, which is given by 2.67. ID is IDQ plus 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 into ID square into 10 to the power 6 divided by 36. So this will give us 10 to the power minus 3 and 10 to the power 6 becomes 10 to the power 3, and what is left is 8 by 36. So this is equal to 222.22 ID square. Now if we take this IDQ to the right, this equation becomes 222.22, this is IDQ, so IDQ square minus 3.67 IDQ plus 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 equal to 0. Solving this will give us two values of IDQ. So IDQ is either 13.9 milliampere or 2.58 milliampere. Out of these two, which one can we choose? For that, we need to look at IDSS. IDSS is 8 milliampere, so ID can never go beyond IDSS if VGS is negative. So here this value is not right, so our value is this one. So IDQ is equal to 2.58 milliampere. Now if IDQ is given, we can find out VGS. VGSQ equal to minus ID into RS. So that is minus 2.58 milliampere into 1 kilo ohm. That will give us minus 2.58 volts. So this is IDQ and VGSQ. Now we can find out the value of VDS. VDS is given by VDD minus ID into RD plus RS. Now that will be equal to VDD is 20 volts. So 20 minus ID is 2.58 milliampere into RD is 3.3 K and RS is 1 K, that into 10 to the power 3. This cancels and VDS is given by 8.906 volts. This is VDS. Next thing is VS. VS is equal to the voltage drop across this 1 kilo ohm, and we know that value, that is ID into RS. So ID into RS is 2.58 volts. So VS is 2.58 volts. Now the next quantity is VG. VG is equal to, you can directly see that VG is directly connected to ground because this 1 mega ohm is appearing as a short circuit. So VG is equal to 0 volts. And the last quantity is VD. VD is equal to VDS plus VS. Now that is given by 8.906 plus 2.58 volts. Now this will be equal to 11.486 volts. So these are all the values we needed to find out. IDQ, VGSQ, VDS, VS, VG and VD. VD can also be found out as VDD minus IDRD. So there is one more equation for this. So your arsenal is big now, right? So this is the biasing of field effect transistors. I am not going to do the problem for this one, that is voltage divider bias. You can understand why. If you do this by solving the equations, it is going to be a very lengthy problem. Normally these problems will be solved by the graphical method. It is slightly inaccurate, but that is enough. So with that, I am winding up today's lecture. We will see tomorrow with a new device, its characteristics and operation. Until then, bye.